Make sure to clear your thoughts and clear your mind of all kinds of distractions. And remember, don't use social media. If you haven't already, make sure to deactivate all your social media accounts, just temporarily. Hi, today I'm going to talk about how you can prepare for technical interviews by solving problems on Leetcode and cracking the coding interview book. The target audience for this video are those that have strong fundamental knowledge on data structures and algorithms, as well as a programming language of your favorite choice. It could be Lisp, it could be Java, JavaScript, C++, Python, pseudocode, or anything else for that matter. It's not about the language, it's about how you can solve problems on Leetcode or the Cracking the Coding interview book. With that said, let's get started. A common mistake that a lot of people make, and maybe you can relate to this, is you open up the Leetcode website, you pick a problem, you try to solve it, a few minutes later you give up and you start watching YouTube videos or reading answers on the discussion page. That's a wrong approach. The other extreme is when you dive into a particular problem for almost 2 or 3 days and you can't come up with a solution and you bang your head against the wall and you give up. That's also a very, very bad approach. So today we're going to talk about an approach that works for almost every single person. I'm going to divide this video into 3 parts. In the first part, we're going to briefly talk about how you can start focusing and what strategies you might be able to incorporate so you can focus a lot more and a lot deeper. The second part is going to be about setting the right goals. And finally, we're going to talk about the actual strategy for solving problems on Leetcode or cracking the coding interview book. Part 1. Focus. 99.9999% of the reason why most people can't solve Leetcode problems is because they just can't focus. It is absolutely important that you develop yourself so that you can focus when it comes to solving problems. I highly recommend that you read this book called Deep Work. But if you don't have time to read that book, let me just summarize it for you in just a couple of words. Human beings have limited reserve of willpower. It's kind of like gas to your car. You can only use so much of it before you run out. And so what that means is that if you're using willpower to keep yourself away from distractions, then eventually you're going to run out of willpower and you're going to feed yourself into those distractions. Your job is to prevent yourself from overusing willpower. How do you do that? Well, the simplest approach is to cut out all kinds of distractions so that you don't have to use too much of your willpower. So you can use willpower in other ways or other places. Cut out social media. Cut out Facebook, cut out Twitter, cut out LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn might be important for a lot of you, but trust me, you can cut it out for at least a month or 2. Cut out WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever platform that you're using that's keeping you distracted and that is basically not allowing you to focus. So by cutting out all of these different platforms, you're allowing your willpower to be utilized in other places instead of being used to prevent yourself from going on Facebook or other social media platforms. Again, you can only use so much of your willpower before you run out of it. So make sure to cut distractions and cut social media so that you can use your willpower in other places. Part 2, setting goals. Don't set unrealistic goals that you have absolutely no control over. You don't know if you're going to be able to get a job in 2 months or 3 months or even 4 months. You don't even know if you'll be prepared to start interviewing in 2 months or 3 months. So you have no control over these things. So don't set unrealistic goals like, oh, I'm going to get 3 job offers by the end of December or 10 job offers in 3 months, or maybe I'll be job ready in 1 month. That is an unrealistic goal. That is something you have absolutely no control over. Instead, set goals that you have absolute control over. Set goals like, I'm going to allocate 2 hours a day, or I'm going to finish 3 Leetcode problems, or I'm going to finish 5 Leetcode problems and allocate 5 hours in that day. These are a lot more tangible goals that you have absolute control over. Your goal for this program is to allocate a total number of 20 hours and solve 40 coding challenges. You might be able to finish this program in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 3 months or 4 months. Don't try to finish this program in less than 2 weeks. It will simply not work. Aim to finish this program in 3 to 6 weeks, ideally 8 weeks. if you have the time. You can break these hours in any way you'd like. You can work on it 2 hours a day, you can work on it 3 hours a day, or you can work on it 4 hours a day, but no more than 4 hours a day. Human beings cannot go in deep state of focus for more than 4 hours a day. So once you finish all those 4 hours, then there's the extra hours that you put in might not be the most optimal hours. So just work on this for maximum of 4 hours a day, ideally 2 hours a day, and perhaps have Saturdays and Sundays as your break day. Or if you're working on Saturday and Sunday, then have maybe Thursday or some other day of the week as your break day. It's like exercise. You don't want to overdo it, right? Just because it's 20 hours does not necessarily mean that you should be finishing this in 1 or 2 weeks. Now that we know our goal, which is to solve a total of 40 problems and allocate a minimum of 20 hours total, what we'll do next is save this Excel sheet, which I'm going to be including on the description box below. You can also print it. You will use this progress sheet to keep track of your progress. When you finish a total of 40 questions and allocate a minimum of 20 hours, that's when you know that you are ready for interviewing. I'll talk more about this in the next part and show this in action. Part 3. How to solve coding challenges on Leetcode or CTCI. This is the part that you guys have been waiting for. This is the reason why I made this video, and this is the reason why you guys are watching this video. Before I talk about the actual strategy, let's talk about the tools that you're going to be needing for this program. You will need a stack of white blank printer paper, a pen or a pencil, and a bank of coding challenges from CTCI, Leetcode, GeeksForGeeks, or any other websites that you prefer. You'll also need the progress sheet with you at all times. If you're solving problems on Leetcode, here's what you're going to need to be doing. First of all, make sure you get a premium account. It's worth the price. Once you get the premium account, go ahead and select the companies. For now, we'll just select Google and Facebook. If you solve problems from Google and Facebook, then you'll be set for any other company. Make sure that you filter the questions based on the frequency and select the top 10 or top 20 or top 30 questions. Remember again that your goal is to solve 40 challenges. So these 40 questions can be coming from a mixture of CTCI as well as the Leetcode questions here. For every question that you select on Leetcode, make sure to click on it, print this page, and also make sure to print the solution page. If your question doesn't include a solution, which often happens, go on to the discussion tab and print the most voted question or the most voted answer and print it alongside your question. We will not be solving any problems on our laptops. We're going to be solving all problems on paper. Now that you have your tools ready, let's talk about the strategy. This strategy includes 9 different steps for every question. Now I know it seems a lot of steps for just one question, but once you use this strategy multiple times, you'll get used to it. I've included this document on the description box, so don't worry about taking notes. First, what you want to do is find the right location. Don't go to a noisy place like Starbucks or Panera Bread or any other place that you think you can focus but you really can't because it's noisy. Choose a place like a library. Set up your workstation in a very quiet area. Once you're ready to begin, make sure to clear your thoughts and clear your mind of all kinds of distractions. And remember, don't use social media. If you haven't already, make sure to deactivate all your social media accounts, just temporarily. Once your mind is all cleared, pick a question. It could be a question from Leetcode problems that you printed out, or it could be a question from Cracking the Coding interview book. The next step is to set a timer for 25 minutes. Silent your phone so that your timer vibrates instead of making a loud voice in the library. Allocate the first 5 minutes to understand the problem and ask any clarifying questions that you might have. Answer these questions to yourself. Gently whisper to yourself as though you are interviewing yourself. You will then allocate the remaining 20 minutes to solving the problem. Start off with a brute force approach. Really think about the optimal solution once you're done with the brute force solution. If brute force is all you have and you only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes remaining, then just write that brute force solution down. If you get absolutely stuck and you do not even know how to attack the problem using brute force method, don't look at the solution. Don't go on Google or YouTube or any other places to search for the answer. Look at the hint using the Cracking the Coding interview book. That's why I prefer using Cracking the Coding interview book, because it has everything for you in one place. This is the most critical moment. You cannot afford to lose focus here, and you definitely don't want to search up the solution on Google. If you don't do this step right, then you will miss out on this great opportunity. Again, if you absolutely get stuck and you think that there's no way for you to solve this problem, don't worry, just give yourself 20 minutes regardless. When your timer starts to vibrate and your 25 minutes are up, review the solution for the next 10 minutes, even if you weren't able to solve it. Some people might disagree, but there's no reason for you to spend more than 20 minutes trying to solve this problem. If you can't solve it in 20 minutes, just look at the solution. If the problem is super easy and you feel like you already understand it, still give yourself 10 minutes. This is also a very crucial time for you, so don't skip out on this. Once the 10 minutes is up, you're going to stop working on this 100%. Don't spend more than 30 to 35 minutes for every problem. Again, you're going to stop completely even if you're in the middle of reviewing the solution. Finally, you're going to update the progress sheet. Include the source and the problem number, as well as the total deep focus time that you allocated for this problem and the number of times you visited. The last step is optional. You can skip this if you think it's going to add too much to your plate. But I highly recommend that you revisit this problem every Sundays or any other day of the week. Revisit it and try to solve this problem again using the same approach, and you can go ahead and update the times visited slot. I know these are a lot of steps just to solve one problem, but once you use this strategy multiple times, you'll get used to it. Alright, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a comment if you would like to see any other videos. Thank you.